Hello, Guthrie America, and thank you for joining us again for another Chamber Chat. I am here with City Council candidate for Ward 2, Brian Bothroyd. Thanks for taking your time to be here with us.
My pleasure.
We appreciate it. So this is not your first
rodeo.
Not your. There you go. That's a perfect word. Perfect. Yeah. So you've been on City Council. This will be your second term if elected.
If elected, it'll be my second term, end of the first 4 years.
Okay.
I did run prior.
Okay.
Lost that.
Okay.
By a handful of votes.
Okay. But you bounced back and came right back.
Stayed engaged and won the second time around.
Okay, and you found your card from last time?
Found my card from last time.
There you go.
I might read a little bit of it. You know, it's kind of interesting because, you know, you always hear, I'm not a politician, but you always hear a bunch of politicians, they make these promises and or statements, whatever. Yeah. And I happened to read back through this, and a lot of this we've been accomplishing.
That's great. That's great.
So
you
that's
can
good news.
Stand right on that. That's awesome. So what is your continued vision for Guthrie then, since you've already been a part of some things?
I think the continued vision is to keep it small. Let me back up.
Okay.
Keep it tight knit.
Okay.
The community. Keep it a place where you can have your kids, let them roam freely, but grow on the fringe. And I think economic growth is our key.
Okay.
But I like the idea of fringe growth. What I mean by fringe is out at the 80 acres, off, you know, east, west, north, south. Keep downtown and the neighborhoods tight.
Okay. Okay. That's great. What obstacles do you see us facing in the future?
Well, the big obstacle I see is site ready or shovel ready.
Okay. What does that mean to you?
What that means to me is, for example, our 80 acres out there, we don't have water and sewer to it. We can get water and sewer to it, but we don't. It'd be the easiest one to get it to. But when you start looking further out west and north and south, it's more of a challenge. And if we don't have site ready, then when ABD company comes in to grow, whoever that may be, if they can't start shovel-ready digging, they're going to move to a community where they can. And we're perfect because of the I-35 corridor.
Absolutely, we really are. We really are. We're right here. So, okay. So what do you think are 3 wins that we have in our community?
I think 3 wins are small town. That is a huge win. And let me elaborate why I feel that's a big, big win. It's when we moved here. How
long have you been here? Just
almost 25 years.
Okay, okay.
My oldest daughter, who now lives in Dallas, she was just starting kindergarten, and my wife was pregnant with my youngest daughter, and we wanted to have a place where we could turn them loose, you know. And that's a huge win for Guthrie. Everybody knows everybody. You know, the police get to know you. You know, just not because of trouble or anything, but just because it's small town. So that's a huge win. I think another big win was the tax that we passed was a big win. People already see that's helping the community in a big way, and I think it's going to help the community in a much bigger way moving forward. Okay. And I think the third big win is obviously the school bond that we passed is a major win.
It is.
Of course, you know, there's a lot of people that say, well, I'm going to move my children to the Edmond School District or put them in private schools. But we had great communication with the teachers, principals. Throughout, my daughters both went to Guthrie Public Schools. They both were honor students. Like I say, my oldest daughter they're in Dallas, and she's got a huge career. My youngest daughter is working on her master's, got her bachelor's in 3 years, and now doing her master's in psychology, so she'll be able to analyze her dad.
Oh, that's trouble right there.
Yeah, it's big trouble. So, but that's what I think our wins are.
Okay, that's great. So what's one thing that you want the community to know about you?
I'm an open book. A lot of people have approached me and said, hey, can you let council know this? Or can you, take up this initiative for us here? And I'll look at it. And the reason I was voted in is to be the voice. and to allow yourself even to be heard if you want to be, and to speak if you want to speak. And I think that's the big thing that I want people to know about me is it hasn't changed. I'm an open book. I'm approachable. My number is 210-7100.
There you go.
I give it to everybody. Just call, and believe me, I do get calls.
Yeah.
And you know, I question a lot on council because I'm asked to. You know, in me and looking at it, I know what's going on because I'm engaged in it, but other people may not. And so that's the main reason I question a lot.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you for taking your time. We appreciate you being here. So remember, on March 25th, we're going to have an open forum right here in City Hall, so you can come that evening at 6. You can ask your questions. You can go to GuthrieChamber.com today and submit your questions, or you can come that evening and ask them then as well. And don't forget, most important, April 2nd, go to the polls. You cannot complain if you don't vote. So get out there and make sure that you vote. We always like to close our chamber chats by saying what we always say in Guthrie, because it is always true. Community
wins.
Hello everyone, and welcome again to another edition of Chamber Chat. I am happy to be sitting here next to Chuck Bircher, who is a candidate for City Council for Ward 2. And we're going to get to know a little bit more about Chuck today, so thank you for joining us.
Good, that's great. Thank you. It's good to see you again.
Well,
I've kind of been out of the picture, but I'm back.
You're back. You're back. That's great.
Yeah.
You said that you wanted to talk about the things that happened this weekend in
Yes,
town.
I do. You know, we've lost a tooth out of our smile this weekend, and I want to explain that. I was a firefighter for 25 years here in Guthrie and rode the ambulance for 25 years as an emergency medical tech, and I know very well what those young men and women were fighting in the downtown fire. You know, Tracy, that's been a fear of us for years.
Absolutely.
That we could lose a whole city block. And basically that fire was a perfect storm. We had 40-mile-an-hour winds whipping it. It drove it right into a wooden structure, which I don't know for sure, but I believe was probably a balloon construction. And balloon construction means there's no breaks between floors. So if it got in that floor, it was in that attic before God got the word. It's just, it was just a lose-lose situation. And with floors, multiple floors caving in, made it very, very difficult for those young people. And a few of the guys I still know down there, older guys. It was scary. It's a heartbreak for this community. That's a piece of our history. That's a piece of our beautiful downtown. And guys, Byron Berline come in here and he could have won any place and done what he's done, and we're all aware of that.
Gosh, yes.
But Byron decided to bring Betty home and set up, and the thousands of dollars worth of guitars and fiddles and that burn up down there, priceless. Memorabilia on the wall. What great stars have come into Guthrie. Vince Gill, for one. But it seems like on a weekly basis, somebody's coming in there and wants to sit and pick with Byron. And, you know, it's a hub. It's a hub for the music world in Guthrie. And Byron's idea was to come in and do a bluegrass festival, which has been a tremendous success in Guthrie. And anyway, I'll get off of that for a minute, but I just want everybody to know how much I appreciate those guys that put their life on the line, guys and girls. I appreciate the quick response from Edmund, and we would have done the same thing for them in that situation. we just, sometime in your day to day, take time to think about how many lives that Byron's and Furrow's is an old time established business in Guthrie that we're all very proud of. So take time today or before you go to bed tonight to think about the blessings that they brought to us and hope we can rejuvenate and go on.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely. You can't keep us down.
You bet.
That's why we're going to bring it back, bring it all back. So tell us, Chuck, a little bit about your vision for Guthrie America.
Well, my vision for Guthrie is tremendous. I am so pumped up about what Guthrie is doing, where we're going. We've got a great city manager now that worked in Coffeyville, he worked in McAllister. I've talked to both of those places. You know, we take our car group and go to Tyro, but we stay in Coffeyville. And the city clerk up there said, I've never learned as much about city government as when Leroy was at the helm.
That's great.
And so, wow, we're so blessed. And that's one thing we need to stop doing. We need to stop having a revolving door of city managers. We need to get behind somebody that loves this community and is going to stand up for it. And when the bell rings, he's going to live and do in this. Leroy loves this community. He told me one time, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I've heard him say that.
I'm staying. And it's because of the good young people. Stacy, we're bringing so many up-tempo young people that are entrepreneurs that are coming in to make a difference. And we've got to get on that bandwagon. You know, people talk about antique stores uptown. Thank God there's somebody in those stores. I go through a lot of little towns and driving old cars, and they're just there's just rows and rows of buildings that are empty. So thank God we have those people, and you know, the antique business is thriving. People are still redecorating their homes and all of that. Our schools, what did we see in the paper? Was there 20, 25 valedictorians in our class?
That's a lot.
Well, if you can't get excited about that, you know, you need to check your pulse.
Yeah, our schools are really thriving.
Right. You got to be so proud of those kind of kids that are making a hard effort. And in this day and time, it's hard. It's hard. This different world than what we lived in, we come up in. So from the entrepreneurs to the young people that are going to go to college, let's do something to bring them home. Let's do something to bring them home. That's a great opportunity. You know, we talk about businesses and my vision, and you know, we don't need, it would be wonderful, but we don't need one place that has 200 jobs. I fully think we need 20 places that have 15 jobs. And that way, if the economy should go one way or another, and one of them can't make it, we're not standing here flat-footed. So there's plenty of land in the city limits to do that. The airport is growing leaps and bounds. They do great things out there. There's land around there for industry. You know, a lot of airports in Oklahoma have a restaurant close to them. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ada, Ponca City, and people fly in up there just to go to supper one night. You know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And so we've got land out there to do that with, between the airport office and before we hit Division. We have places to put businesses up. We're building a lot of new homes, and you know, when I was mayor and before, someone was always coming to us, Tracy, and saying, well, we just want the council's backing, we're going to get along, we're going to do something with the hospital. Well, for financial reasons, whatever, they always got our approval. But now we seem to have somebody that's got the money to do that, and they seek us out, and that's great. And just our people. You know, I've worked at the Bluegrass Festival for 21 years, and those people that come in, the first thing they want to know is where's Walmart? Where can we get ice? You got a liquor store in this town? And now they're all over the place. But where can I get a flat fix? Who's the mechanic that's not going to clean my clock?
Yeah.
You know? And so after 21 years, when I drive through that campground, every camp, Chuck, how are you, Chuck? What's going on? You know, glad you're back. Come over to eat tonight. That kind of stuff. But they love this town. When they come up in here, everybody's got a smile on their face. They speak to you on the street. The cafes, you know, bluegrass people only cook for themselves so long, and they're coming to town. So I give them an idea of all the great restaurants and let them make that choice. And we had a water line break down there early in the festival, and I called GPW. A water truck was there in 12 minutes. I didn't time it. One of the campers timed it.
Wow.
He said that wouldn't happen in my community. Wow. I'll guarantee you. So that's the kind of great people we have working for us.
Absolutely.
You know, I've never come into the city hall when everybody had their feet on the desk flipping a pencil up because they didn't have anything to do.
Happen.
Those people work hard. Sometimes they have to answer hard questions, you know, about water usage and stuff like that. But they do it professionally with a smile on their face and try to do anything they can to verify that and get it fixed. And our parks guys, you can't imagine how much land that them guys mow and weed eat. And one morning I was down here at 5:30 in the morning going to shoot an article for Where's the Mayor? And I was going to do it early before division got busy. And we was just getting all set up. And we heard a weed eater going in the dark. And I said, I'll bet that's blue.
And it was.
And it was. And when I first became mayor, I went out and fed all the parks guys at the cemetery. And I got out there and I had all this warm food and everything. And I heard a John Deere mower running way down. Nobody else there. Turned the corner. It was blue. It was blue. Had grass all over his feet and his legs. Yeah. What a great. And his people, they handle Bluegrass Festival and make it. People come and say this bottom is so pretty. You guys have done a great job having it ready. They build a fence for us and do a tremendous job. They're there. They trim limbs so big motorhomes can get in. Clear the stage area, and it's great. And our police officers, you know, we've got a little problem in our vision that we seem to train firefighters and police, and then they get a year on the job, and you cannot blame young people for taking care of themselves. So we lose firefighters to Stillwater, Oklahoma City, Edmond. And we lose police officers the same kind of a way. And we need to do something about that. We need to do something. Something else I'd like to see us do, make a concerted effort to hire Guthrie boys. You know, that's not putting anybody down. I've dealt with the ambulance. Them boys do a good job. They got big hearts, so they're ready to help and all that. But in an incident like we just had this weekend, when we used to blow that big siren, firemen come because they know they needed help. You could blow that siren. So you was working with guys you knew. And so we've got, what, 30 valedictorians.
We got a lot.
You just got to have, you got to have kids with some guts to go get in a hot building and pass all the tests to be a firefighter.
Yes, sir. So you mentioned that you were the mayor. How many terms did you serve here?
3 terms.
3 terms. Mayor
stands for 2 years.
Okay.
And I did that for 3 terms, be 6 years.
Okay.
And I loved every minute of it.
That's
Our councils were fun.
Yeah.
I had a great council. You know, there's no I's in council. It's a team, and there's no I's in team. So
there is an I in council, but not in team.
That's
I
right.
was teasing.
Well, I hate it when
technically.
I don't want to interview with the young ones anymore.
That's all right.
But I had 3 great councils. We made some great decisions.
Yeah.
We built a water plant. You know, I'm driving a 50-year-old car, but and they break down. But Guthrie can't afford a breakdown. You know, so it's time for us to have a new water plant.
That kind of brings us into the challenges that you see on our horizons. What challenges do you see?
Right. Yeah, our challenges are going to be to get young people and hear their voice. Look what James Long has done with Red Brick Nights. Yeah. There's a young man that's pumped up, excited about this community, and we're in the top 10 of places to go for entertainment now, maybe higher. Yeah. But we're in the top 10. And James has done it because he loves this community. And James is flipping houses and putting people in houses that are good for their families, and that's important. Like I say, we are blessed to have the community we have and the great people that we have working for us that could go other places. We got some bright minds and some hard workers, and they could go other places, but they stay here. They stay home. And that's a great blessing, and that's a challenge for us to keep our people here. And like I say, I like to see us hire Guthrie boys, but that's just me. A lot of these boys come from a hard-working country environment, and they know what work is, and that's a blessing. When you're working with a man that carry his weight, that's a great benefit. Makes all the difference.
Yeah. It sure does. Yeah. It does. You brought up the infrastructure issue a while ago.
Yeah, sure. That's one of our hurdles. You know, we just celebrated, when I was mayor, 100 years of statehood. And so many councils, whatever the reason, the lack of funds, whatever, have kicked the can down the road. But we've got to rebuild. The water plant, we did a grant and got money to put some new main lines in, but it's an overwhelming situation, and that's what we need to get excited about. I don't know if I've already mentioned it, but we're going to have to build a water plant someday. We're going to have to. Federal government is going to come in here and tell us what we've got to do. So that's something we've got to stand up for. We're just going to have to bite the bullet, and it'll work out for us. But as a council, we need to stand behind management and listen to what they have to say, and let's get ready. Let's get ready as a community. We went a lot of years without doing anything, and now it's time. And I think we can have a council that can do that.
Okay, that's great. So tell me 3 things that you think are wins for our community.
Win, number 1, the people.
Amen.
And I'm not talking about just people that work for the city of Guthrie. I'm talking about the people. Anything goes wrong in this community, people come and stand by it. When we were fighting grass fires, somebody'd bring a case of Gatorade or 3 cases of water for the guys in the field, give them to the Red Cross. Please take them out so those guys can get some R&R.
I heard this weekend at Cash Saver that someone ran over there to buy some water for the firefighters, and every person in line bought more.
Yeah.
Every person.
Yeah. That's tremendous. You must stay hydrated. And there's not a whole lot of the world that's ever been deep in a house fire or a building fire, but it gets hotter than a bandit's pistol in there. Sure. And you have to say yourself, I'm staying until this is over, because sometimes the steam overwhelms you, but you just got to hunker down and get ready to get up and attack. So, like I say, the fire this weekend was a perfect storm. And we're just so glad we just lost 2 buildings.
Absolutely.
I don't know what the structural integrity of triplets is right now, but every time there's a fire in the downtown area, Seminole has lost a city block. You know, when I was a firefighter, there was town after town in Oklahoma that had lost a full city block. And so hats off to them young people that made a difference.
Yes. And the communities just really come together to support.
And they always will. They always have. I spent a lot of time on top of a building when I was with the Red Cross, when I was on the board of the Red Cross. And well, I'm telling you, people come by, wrote checks for more money than I get, you know. Kids got a kick out of coming by. And, firefighters got out there with their helmets on Saturday and raised money for the Red Cross. And that's just the way this community is, you know. I've seen young people come by and just dump their ashtray. Ashtray seems to be young people's pockets.
It is.
So they put their quarters and and just, and that's all they had, you know. But I used to tell people, if everybody give a nickel, we wouldn't be fighting this disease that maims children.
You're right.
You know. So, but that's just, go to a Guthrie football game, find out this community in there. They travel. There's not enough room at away games for us to sit together. We have to go on the other side, you know. So that's, the heart of this community is huge, huge, and we're doing better, I think, every day. So.
That's great. Okay. So what's one thing that you would like the Guthrie America, our community, to know about you?
Well, let's see. The bad news is some of them know way too much about me. But the good news is I was the mayor here for 3 terms. I loved every minute of it. I tried to make the council meeting not only to gather information, but to let people smile, that make everybody feel comfortable. Nobody came to my council and got interrogated. They came to my council. We get a agenda. Read that agenda. Call the city manager if you have any questions, and then listen with an open heart to what people come that are wanting a variance, or, you know, listen with an open heart, put that together, and then make a vote that makes that person want to come back if he needs to and talk to us, instead of saying, I'm not going in that hothouse again. You know, we really got to have a smile on our face and let people know how important it is that we hear you. And as a councilman, I've lived in my district for 35 years. I just want to help that district. I served, I'm a combat Vietnam vet, so mayor, military. I sat on the Rural Water Board for a period of years, 5, 6, 7 years. I sat on the Red Cross Board. I sat on the Youth and Family Services Board. I'm just about this community. They called us and asked if we could do something to make 89ers a bigger thing, instead of just a rodeo and a barbecue and a parade. And we put our heads together, and with the blessing of the city, the mayor, and the board at American Legion, we said, let's put on a car gathering. And we went hook, line, and sinker. People love to come and get it. I've had people that have showed cars for 25 years call members of our group and say, you know, I've had a car for 25 years and I don't get a better picture of my vehicle than what I get in Guthrie. And we've tried to move it around to different historical sites and stuff. But anyway, I know what this community has. And I used to referee Little League basketball. I coached Little League baseball. I coached Little League basketball. You know, involved in the community. Tracy, the worst thing can happen to an old guy is for a nice young man with a beard to come up and say, "Hey, Coach, how you been?" They're growing up on me. They're voters now.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, it's.
Well, when you've been here as long as you have, you're going to see that.
Yeah, and the great things that happens is it's really catching on, and that's the taste and tell. Taste and Tell. I've been involved with that to help Miss Nephews and Reverend Hammonds, and that's a great gathering. And for $8 or $10, fish till you win. Go back as much as you want.
That's good stuff.
It's incredible, and those people just are so proud to see you. You know, want you to be there and enjoy their deal. And even if I'm not mayor, when I'm there, they ask me to come up, say the prayer, or just talk to the group. You know, I used to tell them that I'm going to be there, and I just want you to know that I'm packing.
Okay.
And they all went, what? What? And I said, no, I'm bringing pepper sauce, hot sauce, buttermilk. I'm bringing chow chow. I'm bringing all this stuff to help me fix that food for me.
There you go.
So Miss Nephews always says, well, the mayor's here, and he's packing.
He's packing.
So before anybody gets the wrong idea.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
that's
it's
great.
just, I've enjoyed it so much. And Stacy, I want to thank you, Tracy. Cut that out. Tracy, I want to thank you for the energy and the efforts that you put in with the Lazy E and the different events that you're involved in, and being a great Rotarian. And you may be a great Lion, and you may be a great Kiwanian, but we have 3 community groups, and what a blessing. Those people put money into this community. They back and support the things that we do, and you couldn't do them without that a tremendous community to stand behind you. You know, Tracy, the days are of when Nelson Sporting Good was across the street over here, and Art and Linda's was up the street, and Kennemer Shoes, and Lentz Building was as close a thing to John A. Brown's in Oklahoma City as Guthrie could have, you know. And every morning at 8 o'clock, you'd see those people out sweeping out in front of their stores, getting ready for a day. Well, Walmart's kind of taking that away from us, but you can have a better selection. When a mom and papa deal can buy 4 or 5 baseball gloves, and Walmart can buy 200,000 of them, you're going to have a hard time.
You are.
But it's that town atmosphere that I love about this town, and I don't walk down the street that somebody doesn't say, "Good morning, Mayor. How are you? How you feeling?" You know.
I tell people that we're the biggest small town because we still have the small town, we still have that close community, but we have so much going on. We're kind of the best of both worlds.
We do. Oh, amen. That's a great statement. We are. And so those are the things I want everybody to know about me.
Okay.
And I'll stand up to any of them things. That I'm proud of what I've done over the years. And I just feel like that. Please vote.
Yeah.
Please vote. Please don't look down the road and think, well, I can't make a difference. You can make a difference. And whether you vote for Chuck Bircher or you vote for anybody, please go vote and let your heart tell you what you want. I think that in my years I've proved my loyalty to this community, and I would continue to, and I would be proud to. But please vote. Vote for somebody. Use your rights.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time. Yes,
Thank you.
we appreciate your time. And thanks for running. That's,
Well,
that's a big deal. So we appreciate your service.
I look to see a lot of people run, but I've been there before, so I ain't afraid.
There you go.
I ain't afraid of nothing but guns and snakes.
Okay, he ain't afraid. There you go. Well, thank you for joining us. And we like to close how we always do. We say community.
Community win.
Community wins.